Hey, welcome to Tapped In. This is Figueroa-Martinez of DFM Coaching, and this is going to be the audio companion to Stop Collecting, Start Applying, the Art of Technique Efficiency. When I was a blue belt, we had this tendency, and I think it's happening a lot now, we had this tendency of getting a technique, let's say it was cross collar choke, hitting it on people, finding success early, getting confident with it, and then running into a roadblock. And instead of fixing why the roadblock existed, we would dump the technique, find a new technique, and then start the whole process over and over. And we used to call it the blue belt collector phase. And it was a thing when I was coming up. I don't necessarily know if it's a thing now, because I'm running a program and I'm kind of emphasizing not to do that. But when I was coming up, we were constantly collecting data or techniques and then just fucking throwing them away after they stopped working. And we almost treated them like pieces of equipment that couldn't be repaired. And so by the time you're about halfway through, maybe three quarters the way through blue, you had all these random techniques that just didn't have any depth to them. It was like you're building a house and you start with the kitchen and then you get bored with the kitchen. So then you walk over to the bedroom, you sort of start building the bedroom out, and then you get bored with that. And it's just this half finished projects all over the house, or what would be a house. That was our jiu-jitsu game for a while. And my instructor would have to pull us and rein us back in and be like, no, when you run into issues, just fix the issues. Ask me. Just work out what the issue is and try to tweak, because it might be a response. It might be that they're better than you. It might be that you don't have a follow-up. So every time you hit this specific roadblock, you don't have the counter to whatever they're doing. Once I changed that process, my purple belt stage became about eliminated waste, because I had so many techniques that I had for random shit. And by purple belt, it was like, okay, now we got to refine shit. I got to throw out a bunch of stuff that I just don't need. It doesn't mean that I didn't use them later, because by black belt, you tend to know a good deal about a bunch of shit. But at the time, my A game ended up getting smaller and smaller in the number of techniques. So in the article, I preface this idea like, if you could imagine a janitor who has that giant key ring. I don't know if they still do nowadays. I'm old. That giant key ring with 40 different keys on it, and each key works a different door. How to get really good at jiu-jitsu sooner than later, it's having keys that open multiple doors. So you don't have to have so many keys. And the premise is finding those techniques that will work on more than one specific situation. Like sometimes an escape works that specific. Like if I have an escape for the darts, it doesn't necessarily work in another position. The concept of the escape, if I'm pulling my elbows in and doing certain things, they translate, but it's a very specific situation. It's like almost like bread cutter. Bread cutters are very specific. You're sort of in north-south, or at least that side control. You have that under hook on the near side shoulder. They're flat on the back, and your fingers are in the collar, and you got to get the other collar. That's a very nuanced and specific position. Versus, like, let's say you become really good at arm bars, or your goal is to become good at arm bars. The arm bar situation finds itself in everything from top to bottom. Not everything, but most things. So if you understand the concept and the details of the arm bar, and you make it your focal point, you will then see them everywhere else. And then you'll start applying those same techniques or approaches on the same position, whether you're top bottom, whether you're mount, whether you're an S mount, whether you're in close guard. you'll just start moving into that position. For me, it's Kimuras. I find Kimuras from literally every position. There is no technique that has so much functionality from so many different places than the Kimura. I don't know of another. The Kimura grip itself is pretty simple. It doesn't require a bunch of chaining things together. So the minute the elbow's separated from the body, you can hit a Kimura. And then if you're into toe holds, the exact same grip applies there. I can hit a Kimura from top to bottom. I'm pretty sure in every position. I can hit a Kimura from standing. I can hit a Kimura when they're sitting and I'm standing. Butterfly, top of butterfly, bottom butterfly, half, top of half, bottom of half, mount, guard. Like I can hit one from literally. So my thought process when it comes to like that cognitive load is so much smaller because I only have to grip the wrist and my wrist. If the elbow is separated from the body, that's all I have to do. I don't have to think about multiple grip sequences and setting up these other things. It's, oh, the elbow separated? Here. I snatch it. And then from there, I have sequences that lead into very familiar territory, and it funnels right back to the things that I want to do. So my cognitive load is super low because it doesn't matter where I am. I'm looking for the space between the elbow and the ribs. And if that exists, I'm snatching whatever I want. The idea of recycling those mechanics goes right down that line as well. Like, let's say you're into arm drags. An arm drag is an arm drag regardless of what position you're in. And if you get really good at arm drags, whether you're top, bottom, standing, kneeling, it's all the same. So now I've created a key that gets me to various positions, whether it's me taking the back or just getting off balance or getting a single legger for standing or inside tripper for standing, or I want to drag them for butterfly. Like that one sequence and gripping sequence gets recycled in all these different positions. I don't have to rethink about anything. Again, the cognitive load is so much lower. And with every time I hit that technique, whether it's Kimura, arm drag, whatever it might be for you, you're getting depth of knowledge. It's not like I have to learn this new technique in bottom of side or bottom of half and then learn a different technique when I'm in bottom of close guard. The gripping sequences are all the same. So every time I hit this, I'm getting depth in my repetitions and my knowledge base. I'm understanding that every time I hit this, more likely they're going to respond one of three ways from every position. So because I'm recycling these arm sequences, these gripping sequences, and these attack sequences, I'm understanding and getting more mileage within that technique. That depth is going to be so much sharper. The timing is going to be so much better. And your knowledge base is just going to be wider and deeper than everyone else that's trying to replicate 1,000 different techniques in their jiu-jitsu. So things that can kind of be hit from anywhere. Arm bars are a big one. In the article, I have a sequence where it's like 39 arm bars and arm locks. I have a video for arm drags from everywhere. This gentleman hits them literally from everywhere. I also have a link for Kimuras from everywhere. And those are great examples of just, hey, if I want to get really good at something fast, let me get those skeleton key or those evergreen techniques that just, they work everywhere. I don't have to be super athletic. I just have to be precise and technical, and I can make them work for me. And I know I'm repeating, but I can't stress this enough. I don't want 40, 50 techniques. I want a handful of techniques that I can apply to a wide gamut of body types. Big, small, lanky, wide. I can't play my game with everyone, especially as I get older, but large portions of my game will apply and work on big people and small people. And it doesn't take a whole lot of energy. My game is pretty simple for the most part. And these are the things that I want to get people to start kind of understanding, just find techniques that you can plug and play multiple situations. It's going to make your game faster, sharper, and you're not going to have to learn as much. And by the time you get to blue, you're probably going to get there faster than the person that's juggling a bunch of techniques or is throwing techniques out and getting half made up home projects. So again, any questions on this or anything else that I've been writing about, please let me know. I love answering questions. Thank you for listening.